right, guys, heading into game 3 of the best of 7 show match between Blade and Choi, aka YI Set. These players will be playing as the Mongols and the English. Always a fun matchup since tower rushing isn't like necessarily the easiest for either player. And we'll see where Blade decides to set up. This is King of the Hill. If you're not familiar with King of the Hill, I think most people are. It's basically like a mountain. Center of the map has one sacred site. And most of the large amounts of resources are in the center. Sacred site is, you know, they changed it. Before it was a little bit different, so it is harder to wall off the sacred site since it is in the middle and surrounded by several of like these larger gold veins and resources. But either way, I see a Gur. I don't know this Gur move. I've seen this before. I'm not sure where the Gur's headed, but he's headed somewhere. He's like, I know where I'm going. I know where to get placed. Like this is gonna be, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this running around Gur. Let's check in on Choi, who's on the western side of the map, playing as the English, is going down with an early mill. Probably see a early wheelbarrow as well in those farms for that faster gathering rate than some of the other civilizations, as he is heavy on wood or not, or it's just for them. I don't know, or it's just for not farms. Maybe he's not going farms. Seems to be focusing more on the sheep that he's caught. Khan has done a pretty good job of gathering things. Gur is getting placed down towards this 4 root gold. I guess it was just walking around. I'm not really sure what it was doing, but it did get placed down by the gold. There's not a really easy place to get like easy placement for the Mongols on this map, especially if they want to be right next to a wood line. Most of the time you have to like sacrifice some type of resource. Unless he moved all the way over to this corner, that would be like freaking ideal for a Mongol placement. And we get farms getting placed down by YI Sets, aka Choi, if you guys want to know. I'm just keep saying their names, DoubleDBChoi, in case you want to follow them on Twitch or, you know, see them. The Gur does scout not very quickly, I will say, as I hear from chat. I accidentally played as the Mongols the other day because on the menu, they switched it so that French and Mongols are really close to each other. And I accidentally chose the, I thought I clicked French, but I clicked Mongols, and yeah. And then my Gur was kind of running around. Outpost is placed down to protect that gold right now for Blade. And both of them are just doing a pretty good job scouting. Pretty good big group of sheep coming in for Choi. And it looks like Blade is ready to go up to the next age. Gonna be going down with some deer stones. I have seen a re-emergence of the silver tree. I don't know if that's just in my ranking. I think it is just in my ranking, not really on like a pro or conqueror level. But yeah, that's all I see. Uvu is underneath attack from this one scout that, I don't know, scouts are just pretty aggressive. They tend to attack things if they're kind of just sitting there. So I think that's probably what happened, unless he is trying to burn down the Uvu. Khan making his way into the main base of Choi is spotted out, and Council Hall is placed down with 2 villagers at the front side of his base, or the exposed side of his base, I should say. I don't know if so the way that King of the Hill works, or I feel it works, is basically whoever takes the sacred site in the center wins, especially for I feel like for English, the advantage is in English's hands, just in my opinion, because they have that strong, I don't even know what to call it. It's like a curve, like a military curve. Their military just gets so strong in the end. But it is harder to be aggressive since on this map, you are really far away from your opponent. You have to go up the hill to cross over there or go around. So it's hard to be as aggressive on, like, let's say like different maps, like obviously Dry Arabia or something like that. They do have a dip in castle, but I would just say, like, in general, like, it's gonna go up. Dip in castle, like, I've seen it, like, if they just hold out through castle. Okay, I want to say this is a plateau because, also thank you for the hydrates, guys. Like, for the English, it's like up, plateau, and castle. I wouldn't say dip, I would say plateau. They aren't getting necessarily any better. And then uptick in, like, crazy high mountain in Imperial Age. Yeah, it's not like the Bitcoin market. Sure, guys. That's just my opinion. Like, players obviously prove you wrong, like, all the time. They just don't necessarily have as much success as necessarily other civilizations, such as French. And Mongols also has that advantage. Even, like, obviously HRE has that advantage as well in the Castle Age that English just doesn't. Mongols do, like, oh my gosh, Mongols are scary in Castle Age when you see all those lancers coming at you. That is awful. So it's really going to be a play between Choi being careful to be aggressive enough, but not too aggressive enough to, like, save his military, and then getting up to Imperial. So I wonder what he's going to decide to do, especially with Mongols, who tend to be a little bit more of an aggressive civ, as we do have a stable place down. I'm not sure what his response is going to be. Khan making his way into the main base of Choi is able to spot things out where his resources are positioned, as that gold is really forward. He doesn't have a safe gold, so he's going to be exposed. I'm not sure if he's going to go down with a tower or anything else, but it seems like he's responding with a stable as well. So we're going to see Cav versus Cav. And I think both Choi and Blade seem like they're both saving up to go up to Castle Age. It's relatively quiet here on the map. It's been 7 minutes, not a lot of harassing, not a lot of military action right now. It's mostly been them kind of going back and forth. And cavalry, a little bit of horsemen out on the map for Choi. I think, I don't know where there's actually no horsemen out for Blade. Surprisingly, hasn't queued them up right now. Is queuing up veteran or upgrading to regular horsemen, because I think Choi is up in regular horsemen as well, so that also helps. And here's a little bit of harassment coming in from Choi. He has, like, 2 scouts doing a pretty good job of rounding things up, but then there's a response with the cavalry from Blade. He's got 2. He's got the Uvu. He can catch up. Doesn't matter. Yeah, a little bit of chasing back and forth, and this is kind of like the horsemen are making their way down through this side. I'm not sure if Choi decided to make his way into that base area, but it looks like most of the battle is happening up at the center of the map. Remember, the Khan has, like, all these special, like, attack speed, defense, and, like, all that jazz that happens. But we did get the sound going off for Castle Age for Blade, so he's going to be able to go up just a little bit faster than Choi, who is also working his way up into Castle Age right now, or trying to. He did have to sacrifice some of that food income for this cav that he has been pushing out, which is great because it's maintained his base and kept it relatively safe. Yeah, most of it's just a little bit of playing tag back and forth right now. Not too exciting. On the eastern side of the map, checking back in with Blade. Did go down with a step readout, so I see a lot of players just build it and then move it where they need to go. He does have this gold or this gold on this side. Remember, this is awesome. His gold income is going to be huge after this. Yeah, 50% increased gold rate, so that'll be significant in this position, and it'll allow him to get out Lancers and some of the stronger units. We don't have any men-at-arms or like spears. I don't think we have a barracks down for Choi right now. Most of his income has gone for Cav, which are doing a really good job of pushing their way into Blade's main base. Choi is going down with the King's Palace, so he'll have basically like a second TC, and he'll have that economy advantage that Blade does not have, since both players actually for the first time in kind of this matchup that we've seen are at similar amounts of eco or amounts of villagers. Prayer tent. Okay, so we're gonna see some relics being gathered up, also needed to get to the center. Yep, and Castle Age is up for Choi, and that he does have, so we've got 2 Lancers on the way for Blade. Or 2 Lancers, I think they're already out on the map. Where are they? Yeah, 2 Lancers on the way to the base of Choi. Choi does have this little area open, has to be careful, make sure he walls that off, otherwise it's pointless since his horsemen did just get around that. Because that's going to allow a little bit of opening for several of those Lancers to get through. And that's going to be unfortunate for him because that's going to be really great to raid this gold in the future. We do have Knights also in response to these Lancers coming out from Choi. So if he spots those guys out, which I think he did have a scout out there earlier. I'm not sure if he did spot that out. He'll be able to do a good job of protecting his main base. The nice thing though is when you're playing against the Mongols, there's not going to be walls for any of your raids, so you're going to be able to get through there. Current score for the game is 0-2 Blade. I have it right above my head. I don't know, it might be too small if you guys are watching on mobile. And a little bit of head-to-head from these cavalry. Oh man, a lot of damage coming in for these horsemen. They're obviously not strong. I don't think the upgrade has come through yet for Choi in terms of getting them up to veteran horsemen. And that's preventing them from being a little bit stronger. And Choi doesn't have a blacksmith right now. Has not invested in a blacksmith for any of those upgrades. So neither player has invested in a blacksmith just yet. So we'll probably see that a little bit later. Blade is starting to secure that center sacred site with several towers. If Choi spots this out, he can do a pretty good job of killing off these villagers. I don't know if he's going to spot it out though, because he seems to be sending his military around the northern side of the hill. I get the notification that Uwu is depleted off from Blade. He's gonna just move it over just a little bit. He has 7 Lancers out on the map, and we've got 8 Knights out on the map for Choi. So equal in terms of military for both players, almost in terms of quality. There is a little bit of a lead of villagers for Choi right now because he does have that King's Palace, so it's like he has 2 TCs. But Blade is trying to secure up the center sacred site. Once this gets taken, it's going to be triggered, and Choi is probably going to be able to decap that if the outposts don't have any of the emplacements on them, which I don't think they're going to just yet. Especially since this is 125, and most of the stone that Blade has is getting spent on like the Lancers and the double military production. Little bit of head-to-head between both players here on the north side of the map. Knights versus Lancers right now, so equal matchup, and a couple other extra veteran horsemen from Choi. So that's exposed. If he does spot this out, I wish he did spot this out. I would have just moved and then gone straight for these villagers. He doesn't see it. He doesn't have a scout with him, and those villagers are spared today, so that's awesome. Blade has not gotten a relic yet either. I think Choi has gotten 1 just now. So I'm looking right here at Monastery has been secured with 1 relic, but Blade has secured the center sacred site, which is the key to winning. I think it went up around 14. So we're going to have to look for like around 24 if Choi does not decap that sacred site, which I think he's going to head over there with his group of lancers and a couple of those horsemen, bringing his monk over there to do a little bit of I don't know if he's going to do healing or if he's actually sending to get the second relic. Yeah, it looks like Choi is trying to push through to get a raid in. Unable to do it, and it looks like that shaman's going to be able to pick up that relic, and that is going to get secured by Blade. Head to head, taken up. Wololo? No Wolo? Nope. Ooh, 3-night loss for Choi. One Lancer loss for Blade. So I would say Blade won that battle. Is continuing to wall up, tower up this sacred site at the center. Wololo did go off for Choi. Was not successful. And is definitely going to lose that relic. Monk gets taken out by those 4 Lancers. Actually, quite a bit of pressure coming in from Blade on this side of the map. He has 11 Lancers running around, doing a little, or trying to do a bit of raiding. Also, Trebuchet built for Choi. So I think he's going to use this to take out these towers. His window has to be careful about this window, though, because if he doesn't go in soon, Blade's going to have time to build up enough military to counter anything. And he's also going to be able to burn through this palisade wall. Yeah, they're going in for all of those villagers. Pretty good villager kill. Got 3 or 4 right now. Stuck in a choke point. Choi is pushing him back. Yeah, he wasn't really able to see that. And so now we are up to, wow, 1, 2, 6 towers up on the central sacred site. Emplacements, no. Yeah, emplacements for one of the outposts. 3 of the outposts. So 3 out of the 6 outposts have emplacements on them. Choi just has to make sure that he protects his trebuchets, and I think another trebuchet is on the way for him. And we got more knights also out to do a little bit of protection and screening against any of those lancers that might try to take out those trebuchets. Yeah, this is just like, I think both players are trying to wait till they have enough military saved up so they can do a little bit defending. Blade is making Springald's out here up forward, so he has to be careful to protect. Choi has to be careful to protect his trebuchets because they did get taken out on an earlier game. That was just like brutal watching those trebuchets go down to the Springald, and especially because there's Springald emplacement on these towers. There's so much vision that Blade has that Choi doesn't, so he's really going to try to get up this keep soon. Not sure if it's going to go up before those Lancers make their way over to take out any of those villagers. The only thing by doing that, he is sandwiching in his Lancer mass in there, and I think a lot of those villagers did get taken out, but it's kind of like at what cost, you know? Oh, wow. Yeah, Choi definitely had the upper hand in that situation. He is still lost a bit of villagers, but is comparable to Blade, who has only 1. I think he just has 2 town centers, so he did build that to catch up in terms of eco balance. But he did lose a lot of military, so he's down to 31, and Choi is at 44 right now. This keep has to get up to give him vision. Otherwise, if we look at the vision of Choi right now, he's not really able to see that much besides these 2 towers. He doesn't have a scout with him, or does he have a scout? He has a scout with him. No, he doesn't have a scout with him either, so no extra scout site so far. Yeah, and it looks like that keep does get up. Arrows immediately going off. And this is nice because it's going to draw those Springald attention to that keep. And those trebuchets are going to be able to get vision and take out several of these, this half moon shape of towers. Unfortunately for Blade, you know, it's like playing as a Mongols, it's hard to save up enough stone to get all the emplacements quickly. It's not like you can put a bunch of vills on it and get the stone. So you have to play the long game. And I think he was trying to do that. But those towers are just melting against 2 trebuchets right now. 4 Springald's making their way out to the corner. Has to be careful. Choi has to see this or spot this out with his Springald's before they take it out with 1 shot. And I think he does see them. Springald's are getting turned around. Knights are making their way out, doing a little bit of a push and preventing them from moving forward. They're moving back right now. I think they're gonna get a shot off on that trebuchet. Trebuchet gets taken out. First trebuchet, second trebuchet gets taken out, and Choi has no more of his advantage against those towers. He does have only 3 out of those towers have emplacements on them. All the other ones do not have emplacements right now. But Choi is sitting his knights underneath the fire. Oh gosh. Ooh, that Mangonel got a really good hit off on those archers right now. He is going straight for that Mangonel. Takes out the Mangonel and is going for the other 2 Springalds. Springalds are also getting cleaned up from Blade. But man, he traded a lot of knights for that. Yeah, neither of them have... Yeah, he traded a lot of knights, especially since these have Springald emplacements in it. So they're taking out a lot of units with 1 shot. Choi is queuing up. Did queue up another trebuchet, or does he have one up there yet? I think he did. Yeah, and this outpost is doesn't have the emplacements in it yet. Sitting at 84 stone, so a lot of the action is happening up here. Not a lot of other raids, counter raids going on so far. Yeah, I think Blade is definitely just has a bit of like their ecos are relatively comparable. Choi is down by 3 in terms of economy, but he does have a little bit like 10 less units in terms of military, which could hurt him. And both players are not ready to go up to Imperial. But really where Choi is going to get the advantage is going up to Imperial. He does have is building in response with several of these outposts. Ooh. Did do a good job of protecting that. If he can get the Springald emplacements in these outposts, which I do see them coming through, he's going to be able to prevent any of those Springalds from coming forward from Blade's side. And that's what he needs, especially to protect his trebuchets. And as an English player, you want to protect your trebuchets. That is your advantage. That's what you've got. A couple of Mangonels making their way over to the side of the map. I think that's spotted out quickly, though, by Choi. Choi does have a lot of... Man, those villagers were really exposed right there. It looks like that's going to get healed up by several of the villagers from Blade's side. So no Mangonels were hurt in this filming of this show match so far. Or in this, there was 1 Mangonel that went down earlier, but you know. Springald's trying to push a little bit forward. They are just going... Oh, wow. They like shot through that keep and took out that trebuchet. There is another trebuchet queued up for Choi right now, so it's just a battle between back and forth. But man, that sacred site is... That timer is on right now. The timer is definitely on right now. I think Choi is trying to do a push as best as he can at this moment because he knows he has to decap that sacred site. Has to be careful and make sure that he protects his 1 Springald. That Springald does get taken out. I'm not sure if he's gonna he has enough units to decap that sacred site. Yeah, those Lancers are trying to take out any of those, and no, he cannot do it with that movement right now. I think there's like a couple minutes on this timer. Oh, and it gets in. It's a tap, not a tap out. It's a sacred site win. Sacred site win from Blade. I don't, there's no way to time it, but it was at 14. So timer goes off. King of the Hill expected.